Good morning from the Sunshine State. Broadcasting from Palm Beach County, it's the Fishing in Florida Show. Sundays from 8 to 10 a.m. on the WCET FM network. And now, here's your host, Riscala.
Hola, good morning, good morning, good morning. My goodness, what a beautiful day it is out here. You'll have to excuse the roughness in the voice because I was up quite late last night. But that doesn't change what's coming today. My gosh, I looked at the radar this morning, and I'll give you a little bit more about that in just a moment. But I want to take a minute and introduce my co-host, who I love so dearly, because if you want to protect what you love to the max, you have to talk to my friend over there at Atlas Trax, Carolyn. Good morning, Miss Carolyn.
Good morning, and to all the listeners, too. I've got a little raspy voice going on as well, but it's a beautiful day out here in the east part of Florida.
I'm looking at the Wonder Map, which what I do every Sunday morning, get an idea of what's going on with regard to the radar and the area. There's some disturbed weather. I guess this is a hurricane. From what I remember, I think this is a hurricane that's over there in Louisiana. We're seeing a little bit of that. It's affecting some of our weather, but the effect that it's having actually is pulling storms away from the west coast of Florida. In the meantime, on the east coast of Florida, down there in the Bahamas, they're looking at some pretty serious rain and pretty heavy radar activity there. Bimini looks a little cleaner, but there's still disturbed weather, and most of it is moving away from the state. So as the day goes on, there's less chance as this particular, whatever it is, disturbed weather, low pressure, whatever that might be, because this is more than just thunderstorms. It will be moving away from us. And then, of course, we're in the summer pattern, so be aware when it gets down to 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, the ground is heated up, and the air coming in from the ocean is very humid, and we have the boomers. We have, when you think the world is going to come to an end, some of them are pretty tough. Had a really hard one come through the other day. I don't know if it affected you down there. I think you're Fort Lauderdale, Carolyn? Is that where you're at?
Well, I'm a little north of Fort Lauderdale, Riscala. I'm in Deerfield Beach, and that's sandwiched right between the Boca Inlet and the Hillsborough Inlet, which is where folks take their boats out to the open ocean. Mm-hmm. So, just south of Boca Raton for folks that don't know. And, yeah, we had some crazy weather whip through here. And I'll tell you what happened. I had one of my umbrellas up on my newly refinished teak table, and the wind caught it, pulled it up, and it fell out of the hole in the middle of the table and pulled all the wood out of the tabletop when it fell. Wow. So we had to do a big glue teak project here in the backyard.
Wow. Well, yeah, what I'm referring to, I don't know if you saw what I saw, but it looked like the beginning of a hurricane. When I walked out, first of all, it was raining so hard one particular night, it literally woke me up. It was, I guess we were hailing out there. I don't know. I could only look out the window. I was going to go out there. But it was really banging on the roof. And then the other, I can't remember what day it was, but it was about 8:30 in the morning here in West Palm. Oh, my goodness. It was like banging, booming, and wind blowing where you look at the rain and it's sideways. And I thought, oh, my gosh, what's going on? Then I went outside into the porch area, the front porch, and looked up. And the clouds were flying by like the beginning of a hurricane. I went, oh, what am I missing? Because I don't watch TV. What am I missing here? How did I miss this? So, yeah, it was pretty nasty for a while there. But it looks like today is just the opposite of that. We're going to have a great day for the ocean. And we got, let's see, southeast winds, 5 to 10 knots today. Seas are going to be around 2 feet. Intercoastal waters will be a light chop. And that'll carry on out into tonight. And looks like Monday very close to the same thing with regard to the marine forecast. Tides will be, well, we had high tide already at 1:08 this morning. Low tide just happened, 7:25. High tide coming in at 1:45 p.m. Now this is, excuse me, this is for the Palm Beach area. And the next low tide will be 7:53 tonight. With regard to our beaches, beaches are open. Please remember that they are asking people to follow the CDC guidelines when you're out there. I know it can be irritating, but that's just what we have to live with for right now. So just remember that. The beaches are open. There is a slight chance of rip current, and be aware that when that water comes in, it has to go back out. If you just take a minute and look, you'll see where the water's going back out. You don't want to get caught in that stuff. It'll literally drag you out. It doesn't matter how good of a swimmer you are. So it looks like it's going to be a gorgeous day. You got any fishing planned today, my dear?
I have fishing later on my dock. I'll tell you what happened. My next door neighbor put one of those green lights in for attracting snook right next door.
Oh, wow.
So I'll tell you what's amazing. I can catch a lot of fish off the dock in the dark. As soon as he put that light out, everybody knew that's what the reason for the light was, and now there's no fish in the area. So I'm going to give it another shot today and see if I can round up something. And I know my hot dogs from the refrigerator always work, or leftover chicken. So I'm going to try and do a little dock fishing here. There was a great tournament yesterday. I can't wait to hear the results, called Naked Warrior project, and that is to honor fallen seals. So I know that Trae and our local friends down in Pompano did a lot of fundraising and fishing yesterday. I can't wait to hear how that went for those guys.
Yeah, we have Trae scheduled. He'll be coming on here shortly, and he can give us a report about that. I'm excited to hear about that. Did you do any fishing this last week?
No, unfortunately, I didn't. A lot of folks were taking deliveries of their boats, which was a great thing for the activity. People are buying boats again, and they're actually getting them out on the water. So I had to do actually a couple house calls, a couple deliveries of trackers, even down to Fort Lauderdale at 7 o'clock on Friday night. So a good, productive week for me, and I'm going to try and definitely get out there maybe Tuesday, Wednesday, both days, and do a little guest fishing.
You lucky thing, you.
That's a nice thing about being in the boat business.
I envy you because you're able to. I mean, if it really comes to push comes to shove, you can just go out back and go fishing.
Yeah, absolutely. We have an 80-foot dock in the backyard. I'm looking at it now. I see a nice little breeze. It looks like an east breeze. Usually I've got some friends with some flags up. We can take a look, but it's going to be a beautiful day. I mean, it is low tide, dead low. I can see almost the bottom of our canal, and that's I'll wait on that high tide. Unfortunately, we can't even get the boat off the dock unless it's off the boat lift, unless it's mid tide or higher. So a couple times we planned that pretty poorly, and look out the window with people in the backyard coming over to fish and can't get the boat off the lift.
Yeah, oh, well, sorry. Put wheels on it. Put it back on the trailer.
Yep, absolutely.
Trailer it out there into the deep water.
Get the rubber inflatable kayak out.
My brother and I went fishing down there, and I'm trying to think of where it's at. It's on the west coast. They call it the Land of Thousand Islands, not quite to Naples. And we rented a boat, and it was, of course, it's all backwater back there. And the people we rented the boat from said, "Be careful, the canal is, when it gets low, it's really, really low, and you'll bottom out." And so we went fishing. We had a great time. We were on our way back in, and didn't realize that on our way back in, it had already started. And so by the time we got to this particular canal to get back into the dock where this boat was, you could almost see the bottom. There were a couple of places where I had to pick the motor up. They had a hydraulic lift to lift the motor up and pole our way through, because it was deep enough for the boat to float, but it wasn't deep enough for the motor to turn and get us going. So I know what you're talking about. And then I think about what Angelia was telling us, a 30-foot draft up there. And could you imagine that? 30-foot draft up there in Alaska in some of those places when the tide changes. Anyway, it looks like we have Robert. Robert with the Florida Fisherman Magazine. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. How is everybody?
Good morning, Robert. Good. It's a beautiful day out here, isn't it?
It is beautiful.
Did you do any fishing, Robert?
Just some nighttime snook fishing. It's a boat ramp here in the neighborhood, but yes.
Any luck?
Yeah.
When you
always catch them, just can't keep them now. So.
Yeah, I know. That's a bummer. I still have a hard time with that. My son took me out on a trip a couple of weeks ago, and it was one of the best fishing trips I've ever been on. Never in my life would I have ever imagined that snook are out there in the ocean. I know it's a silly thought, but I've always caught snook in backwaters, canals, mangroves. I've never caught snook in the ocean, and there were so many snook. It was, yes,
they're stacked up in the inlets right now. They're
oh, really?
Everywhere.
Oh, wow. I guess because
September 1st, that'll change. Panic.
They maneuver in schools, so they've all taught themselves it's not snook season, so you can do what you want right now. It's safe to go. Robert, we threw away some beautiful fish. I threw back some beautiful fish. Oh my gosh! I still today. This is some weeks ago, and I'm still bummed out about it. So you did good, huh?
Yeah, there's a great little boat ramp here in the neighborhood. It's got a light on the end of the dock, and
oh, sweet.
all you need is a light on the end of the dock.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, what were you using? What kind of rigs were you using to catch them, Robert?
Just live shrimp.
Any weight or just
live shrimp? You just pitch them out there, and I could probably sit out there at that boat ramp and catch 10 a night if I wanted.
Holy smokes!
And are you catching your own shrimp too, or are you going to a local tackle store and buying them?
I get them at what the hell's the name of the place? Snook Nook.
Snook Nook. What a name!
Nook Tackle Shop.
Cool. Snook Nook.
And let me ask you a question. How do you transfer those in the car? Because I'll tell you what I did once. I went to a tackle store with a 5-gallon bucket, got a dozen of pilchards, which was a big mistake. And in the effort to keep them alive on the way from my home to the bait store back, I had to keep slashing the water, which ended up all over the floor of my car, and I had 12 dead bait. How do you get the shrimp back to your house?
I have a small cooler that I fill with water from the neighborhood and dump them in there and just bring them back and put them in. Then I put them in the bait well and drop them in.
Yeah, more successful than my method.
It doesn't leak as bad. So
we used to have portable aerators. They don't have those anymore. Portable aerators. You drop them down in the water. And
sure they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would think
the same one you can get for a aquarium pump.
Yeah, well, yeah, but they have like 12-volt ones, and they have
battery operated.
Right
now, you can throw one in. So.
Wow.
Well,
so
the greatest racket I found a young kid in the neighborhood now. If you leave him some pancakes, he'll actually deliver the bait right to your boat.
Oh, that's a deal. That's a deal.
I like that. And speaking of young children, we're going to have, for the first time ever, later on, we're going to have Tony, who is a 9-year-old, went fishing with his dad and caught a beautiful tuna. He's going to tell us a little bit about that experience. And I really wanted him to come on. Very well-spoken young man. You'll be amazed, this young man. Anyway, he'll be on a little later today.
Can't wait to hear. That's probably his biggest and first tuna, I'm hoping.
Oh, no, his dad takes him fishing all the time, and he's very proficient at it. Well, you'll hear one day. You'll be surprised what this young man, 9 years old, it's amazing. Robert, can you give us any updates on any of the tournaments going on?
Well, the one tournament got changed, like I said, from July to August 12th through the 14th. That one will be running out of Worldwide Sportsman in Isla Mirada. That's the Jaws Dolphin Mahi tournament. And that is the one that we are supposed to co-host. So hopefully it stays on. So and we'll see.
August.
It's been canceled once. So.
August what, Robert?
12th through the 14th. 12th through the 14th.
Tell you, I might have to reach out to Angelia and see if she wants to fish it with me. She's right down there.
That's her backyard. Yep. We'll have to ask her later.
We have a boat. Captain Aaron Sutcliffe is supposed to have our boat for that tournament. He'll be operating the one for Florida Fisherman magazine, but I don't know that it's. I don't know. I talked to him about a week ago, and they had like 26 boats. I think it was tough getting boats because nobody knows if they're going to be able to come down there, or if they're not going to be able to come down there.
Yeah, they're
tough right now.
They literally shut that place down for a while, and because of the logistics, there's only one way in and one way out. So it's you just block the one way in and one way out. You're done. Nobody's coming. Nobody's going.
It takes care of that. Yeah.
Well, even running to the Bahamas now, they had closed the border down a few days ago, and now they've opened the border back up to travel. But the rule is if you go over, you have to quarantine yourself in the Bahamas for 14 days, which really doesn't sound like a bad idea.
Or you have to have
doesn't sound real horrible. So
you have to have a certificate. Who was that guy that was on the show with us? You remember that, Carolyn? Somebody was on.
Sure, Dean Panos, Double D Charters.
They wanted him to have it so he wouldn't have to go into quarantine. He had to have a certificate showing that he had either been tested or he'd been vaccinated. I don't think he was vaccinated or tested or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
It has certainly made tournaments difficult. I will tell you that.
Making life difficult in general. There's just so many things that this has affected. And for someone like me who I love being outdoors, and so many of the activities have been curtailed. I still get a little ruffled when I walk down the street. There's a park literally maybe 15, 18 houses away from me that's open, but the kids can't use the park. You can play basketball, but you can't go on the swings. There's no water fountain any longer. It's just so some of the stuff that's going on is just it's irritating. It's just irritating.
Well, and Riscala, you walk your dogs every day, and down here in Broward County, I believe there's along with our curfew that we have, you're only allowed to walk your dog 250 yards from your house. So I'm not sure if that's curfew time or if that's all times. But yeah, we're out still from 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. It's nobody's allowed out. So so it's getting kind of annoying, and especially with the tournaments we go, they're fun. Yeah. But look at all the money we're not raising for the charities that they're supposed to be supporting. So it trickles down to everywhere. So I'm glad to see tournaments are back up. Yesterday's tournament, last week there was a really big tournament here in Pompano Beach. So they are still coming up with the social distancing, but it's great to see everybody back out, playing with their gear, changing their lines, buying bait. Trickles down to everybody. Yeah,
it does. It affects the local area. It may be money going to a charity, but the what am I saying? I'm trying to say the accessories of that. People come down here, they buy, like you mentioned, they buy bait, they buy ice, they buy gas, all of this stuff, in little bits and pieces, all adds up. And when we're not having those little bits of pieces time and time and time again, it doesn't help us with regard to the economy locally. We lose out. It's not a good thing. So hopefully we will be getting more and more happening with regard to that. I was going to ask Lisa, her last name eludes me. She's with CCA of Florida, to find out how they're doing on the West Coast, because they have that tournament that runs literally all summer long. I was trying to get her on to get a report on that. Maybe we can do that next week, have her on, and she'll tell us.
Liza Fitzgerald?
Fitzgerald, yeah. The morning is catching on, the fog is still there.
On a brighter note, if you're into riding bikes, I don't know what's going on down in Dayton, Broward County, but if you can ride bikes in your area, you'll find everybody out on bikes. They are in Martin County. True. Everybody is out on bikes. The bike shops are sold out of bikes.
That is true.
I talked to my son yesterday and asked him what he was doing. He said, "I'm in the middle of a bike ride in Sanford." He lives in Orlando. Apparently, there was some big bike ride in Sanford yesterday. And he said, I said, "How many people?" He goes, "Well, my friends and I started it." And he said, "I think there's about 45 people now following us." So.
My goodness. There are many more bikes on the road. And I don't know if you've noticed this. I guess they're called bicycle clubs. They have the special kind of fast bikes, you know what I'm saying? The kind of you're bent over. Yeah. And I've seen a lot more of that lately. Oh my gosh. And one of them had to be about 20 or 30 people on bikes coming through the area. I've seen a lot more of that lately. So I guess that's the silver lining, if you will. The people are getting out.
Yeah, the silver lining is if you own a bike shop, this is your time. So.
That and walking. I see a lot more people out walking as well.
Yeah. Yep.
So that's good. It's good to get out there and walk. Of course, I do it 7 days a week, but it's good for you to walk. It's one of the least damaging of the exercises you can do versus jogging or heavy running or weightlifting or something like that. This is the most natural way for your body to get some exercise. So get out there and walk, and you enjoy the sunshine. I've got a farmer's tan, believe it or not. My arms are nice and tan. My neck is nice and tan. I take my shirt off, and I got this brown ring and then this white skin. Below it. Oh, my goodness. That's from walking every morning, roughly about an hour every morning, and having a shirt on. So I have what they call a farmer's tan.
And you're out in the part of the country where it's you got a lot of farm horses, so you're going to fit right in there. That would be unusual over here at the waterside.
I fit right in with them.
over here, you have a tank top tan.
Oh, my goodness.
But hey, Robert, what kind of photos are people submitting for the digital magazine? What's the fish of choice that you see a lot of?
Mahi. God, good Lord, I've got about I must have 100 mahi pictures
Oh, my.
so far for the next magazine.
Wow.
People just keep sending them. I've got everything from peanut-sized mahi to 53-pound mahi.
Oh, gee. Now that's a
And
fish.
tuna. Now we're getting a bunch of tuna pictures. The last few days I've been getting a bunch of tuna pictures.
So see, you're a
got a picture.
resource you're a resource for who's catching what also.
Yeah, and one of them was from a friend of mine up in, she's in Gloucester, Massachusetts, with a 568-pound bluefin. Her name is Brandy, and Brandy Gassell, and she was just thrilled with herself. Catch of a lifetime. So.
Wow. 568 pounds.
Yep.
That is one big fish.
Was she just private?
And she's probably 115 pounds. So.
Robert, was she fun fishing, or is she on a crew up there?
No, she works on boats, but this was a fun day, and she and her friends were out, and she got 568-pound bluefin.
Holy smokes, man! That is a seriously big fish.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I sent her a message, and I haven't gotten an answer back. What is that worth on the market?
Yeah. Wow, I didn't even think of that.
What they're selling for these days. So
that was my next question. If they were out for a fun day, they're still selling the meat, I would imagine, especially the Gloucester,
sure.
We know the wicked tunas out there. And
yeah.
Wow. All right, well, we're getting ready to get up against a break here. Robert, before we go, if people want to submit a picture or a story about what they're doing to Florida Fisherman Magazine, how do they do that? And where is Florida Fisherman Magazine on the net, by the way?
They can just send it to pages at flfishmag.com, and the magazine is at www.flfishmag.com. And we're starting to work on a new magazine starting next week, so time to get the pictures in, time to get your stories in, time to get whatever you got in.
Hot dog. Thank you, Robert.
Did you have anything for this issue, Carolyn?
I'm going to have to poke around and see if I can come up for something for you. Nothing, no stellar fish the last week or so, but I'll see what I've got for you, Robert.
Thank you.
You got it.
Thank you, Robert. Greatly appreciate it. We're off to a break. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Fishing in Florida show with your host, Scala Stevens. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Thinking of moving? Before you do anything else, call Diane Whittick. She provides a concierge service. Things like having your home or condo packed and shipped. Even take care of your home repairs or upgrades. Diane has the expertise to get it done. As a seller, you will have constant contact. She will furnish you with bids on any services that might need completion. Air conditioning, plumbing, handyman, and even cleaning. Living up north and have a home to sell here in South Florida? Just give her the keys, address, and a signature. Your payment will be wired when the property is sold. That's right, Diane does it all. Thinking of buying? Diane has great listening skills. Tell her what you want, give her your budget, and like a genie, she will make your real estate wish come true. There's no regrets when you choose Diane Whittick. To reach Diane, call 561-247-5478. That's 561-247-5478.
Do you need toner for your Epson, Hewlett-Packard, Canon, Brother, Apple, or Sharp printers? Look no further than Laser Technologies. In business for over 20 years, they offer the lowest prices on toner on the web. They can also repair your laser printers and toners fast and easy. Call their expert staff today at 561-792-9600 or email us at service@laser-technologies.com for all your toner needs. All toner is shipped nationwide. Why wait? Get the lowest prices on toner. Call or email us today.
Do you have an unusual pet? Did you know that the Rainforest Clinic in Loxahatchee specializes in exotic pets? They see pets that other vets don't. Parrots and chickens, ducks, geese, turtles, snakes, goats, pigs, lizards, and even monkeys. Are you a beekeeper? Dr. Clubb, the first of her kind in the area? Yes, she takes care of bees as well. Dr. Susan Clubb has decades of experience and known around the world for her reputation as a premier avian vet. Located at 3319 E Road in Loxahatchee, just a short distance north of Okeechobee Road. You will find a modern clinic with in-house labs, which allow you to get your test answers quickly. You can find them online at www.susanclub.com. That's www.susanclubb.com. Or you can reach her at 561-795-4878. It's Dr. Susan Club. That's 561-795-4878. The Rainforest Clinic located in Loxahatchee. 561-795-4878.
GTG, BRB, OMW, be there in a few. You may think that these kinds of texts are fine because of their length, and you can easily send them at a stoplight. But no, answering one text can take your attention away from the road for 5 seconds. And traveling at 55 miles an hour, that's enough time to travel the length of a football field. Make good decisions, don't text and drive.
While other stations just talk a good game, we win it.
Hey, sounds like somebody's having a lot of fun.
Oh, I grab my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing and blowing on when the sun shines all day. It just caught me a grouper. So I'm fishing and blowing on. Oh yeah, fishing and blowing on.
Good morning from the Sunshine State. Broadcasting from Palm Beach County, it's the Fishing in Florida Show. Sundays from 8 to 10 a.m. on the WCET FM network. And now, here's your host, Riscala.
All right, good morning. We are back. It is the Fishing in Florida Show. It is an honor and privilege to have you listen in and allow us to share with you some of the goodies that are going on with regards to fishing here in the South Florida area. But I know that we have a lot of listeners that not only are in South Florida, but they're all over the place. We have, my goodness, just about everywhere you can imagine, and that is thanks to the internet. People who call in from, occasionally who call us from Louisiana, and people who call us from the Carolinas and New York. We've had people call us from Texas, from Louisiana. Texas and... I can't think of it. I can see it in my mind. I can't think of it. Oh, my goodness. That's what happens when you do a show early in the morning and you're up late the night previous and you drink tea, which is keeps you going. So, the mind is not all there yet. There's still a little bit of fog that's got to burn off. In the meantime, I want to say a big thank you to WCET FM. That is our home network, 101.7 out of Columbia, South Carolina. And you can find us many different ways. And the easiest of all of those ways now is the app. We have our own app. If you go to the Google Play Store, and I think it's in the Apple Store now, if you go and search for WCET-FM or fishing_in_Florida, WCET-FM, which is our home network, or fishing_in_Florida, you'll find it. The best thing about the app that I can tell you is there's no advertisements, there's no spyware, there's no push notifications, there's none of that stuff. It's just a way for you to be able to listen to our home network. And depending upon what time you hit the play button, it depends upon the show that you'll be listening to. So that's the easiest of all the ways that you can listen to our show. The next easiest way is to go to our home network, www.wcetradio.com. And you'll see we have a player there. We also are a subscriber-supported station, so if you feel led, please give us a donation. All the donations go directly to upgrading all of the equipment that we utilize at the network. A big thank you to Marina Rock Radio out of Miami. They play our show for us on Sundays. A big thank you to Juan there at Marina Rock. Thank you, Juan. Greatly appreciate it. And a big thank you to KYAH out of Utah, who occasionally plays our shows. I don't think they play them in the morning, but I think they do replay the shows from time to time. Thank you, guys. Greatly appreciate it. And let me welcome back my guest. Excuse me, my guest. Boy, I tell you, the fog is still there. Let me welcome back my co-host, Carolyn. If you want to protect what you love to the max, you got to talk to my friend over there at Atlas Trax. Welcome back, Carolyn.
Yeah, good morning again, Riscala. And, I want to say we had our friends from Gloucester, Massachusetts call in not too long ago, Dave Marciano with the Wicked Tuna TV show, and that was a lot of fun. He had some great insight on fishing up that way.
And I think this young man, this 9-year-old I was telling you about, I think the fishing trip that he was on, I think they're out of New Jersey. And they're going to be telling us about that in a little while. Anyway, I'm looking for looking for Trae. Maybe he may be caught up in... do you know if he was going out this morning?
I know he was at the store real bright and early. He posted off a 6 a.m. picture of a nice sunrise. So I'll do a quick shout out to him. And those folks, Big Dog Tackle, are so instrumental in not only providing gear and bait for the local community, they do so much charity work.
They give back.
So many donations to the local tournaments. They were one of the main hosts of this Naked Warrior project that had a fishing tournament yesterday that was actually founded by a gentleman who lost his brother who was a Navy SEAL. So this is the monies from yesterday's tournament go right toward injured Navy SEAL folks.
Wow.
So I'm kind of anxious to see how the results were. And I know that Sean from Offshore Angler Pompano Beach, they were out there fishing yesterday. I didn't get a report from those folks. But I'll do a quick text out and see if Trae can join us.
This is the advantage of dealing with a small, family-owned, locally-owned company. It gives back. These businesses give back to the community. And many times they give back to the community in areas that our local government, our state government, our federal government do not. I mean, if they do, it's extremely inadequate. And these people fill that gap. And it's done by people like you and me, patronizing these kinds of businesses. Big Dog Tackle is one of them. I can't think of the other one that's right off the bat, but Carolyn is another one. Carolyn, she just was telling you Friday, what business can you call and say, listen, I need your product. I need it right now. It's Friday. It's late in the afternoon. How fast can I, hello? Yeah, oh, here it is. I mean, it's almost that fast, and it's a bit of an exaggeration, but who on a Friday in the afternoon, late afternoon, calls a supplier and says, I need your product, and then has that product there probably within the hour? Probably within the hour. Now, you call a big company that's selling a product and tell them you need that product right away. And the first thing they're going to say, well, we can ship it to you next day air, and it's going to cost you a bazillion, half your arm and the rest of your leg in order to do that. That's the advantage of dealing with small businesses. I'm always passionate about getting people to recognize, now more than ever, we have so many small businesses that have been hurt by this pandemic. Now more than ever, these small businesses are looking for people to help them as they help people with whatever it is that they're doing. It's a back and forth and it's a win-win situation. Those are the kind of deals that I try to do every time. When we do a deal, this is not how I make my money, thank God. This is how I get my joy in life, in hopes that we inspire some people to get out there and do some fishing, get your family together. This is really what it's about for me, is family. Get your family together. Go out there and enjoy what God has given us. We've got water everywhere in this place. My gosh, if you don't like water, you're in the wrong place. That's what it's about for me. But in the job where I do, that makes me my money, always looking for new customers, because they become part of your family. They become like an extended part of your family. You'll find that the relationships that you build with people who have small businesses are 180 degrees between the big boys. And if we're talking about products, usually the small business is a couple of pennies higher, but for what you get, the value that you get with that, oh my gosh, you can't even put dollars on that. The value.
You know what? I'll tell you that order for me came from a referral, a gentleman that had worked with me for a long time and has 3 trackers on 3 of his boats. And what do people do? They take delivery of a boat. And for those that don't know, if you don't have a tracking device on a boat in South Florida with 2 or more engines, you cannot get insurance. So 2 people panicked. They had boats delivered on Friday, no trackers, and I literally had to drive 2 trackers to 2 people. And, that was an hour and a half of my time doing a round trip. But I'll tell you what, those folks appreciated it. I'm sure they'll spread the word that, hey, this owner came to see me at 7 o'clock on a Friday, which is, how most small local businesses, it's a lifestyle, as Trae has said before. It's a lifestyle choice.
It is. And I see that he's on with us. Good morning, sir.
Hey, how you guys doing? Good morning.
Good morning, Trae. We were just bragging about you.
Oh, really? What did I do this time?
It's a good thing you weren't listening because she's not telling you the truth.
That Trae guy, got to watch him. No, I was saying how you posted a beautiful weather report this morning and how you participated in yesterday's tournament. So we'd love to hear some fishing results and what you got going on at Big Dog.
Well, there were some big dolphin caught, some decent-sized dolphin finally caught yesterday, so that's nice to see.
Wow. That's
and then the afternoon bite has seen some big tuna, so some nice fish out there.
We had Robert with Florida Fisherman Magazine on prior to you, and you just confirmed what he said. There's mahi, lots. He gets pictures of people catching fish for his magazine. Lots of mahis and now tuna. So you just confirmed what he just said. Oh, that's great. That's great. So how's the bait business going?
Yeah, everything's been pretty steady. This past week, the weather was a little rough, but it seems like it's clearing up.
Oh, my. Yeah.
To have a beautiful week coming up. But, it slowed down a little bit this week just because of the weather, but still pretty steady.
Do you run low on anything in particular?
Well, it's funny you say that. I think most tackle shops are running low on a lot of supplies just because the manufacturers are out of stock or back ordered. And a lot of products come from overseas, and this whole coronavirus has put a damper on all that.
Wow. What with regards to bait, are you well stocked on the bait side?
Yeah, we're very well stocked on the bait, on the actual frozen bait, and even on our tackle, we're pretty good. We try to stay ahead, and we put orders in advance, so we're pretty well stocked on everything.
Great.
And Trae, you're actually making some of your own vacuum packed like bonita strips. I mean, you make a lot of your bait, right?
Yeah, we make some of our baits, and then we also make a lot of our own rigs in-house too. So we always have things to do, and we're always stocking the shelves on that stuff too.
Did you get a chance to fish yesterday for the Naked Warrior project, or were you on land bait?
I didn't. I just got to enjoy everybody else fishing.
Any idea? Money was raised for the Naked Warrior project. Any idea, about how much was able to be raised?
Well, I know the offshore anglers of Pompano Beach, Sean Miller and those guys. They always they donated $5,000 themselves. So I think they're probably getting close to the $10,000 range as far as raising money for the families of the fallen Navy SEALs.
That's excellent. See, everybody wins.
Yeah.
Everybody. Yeah. I like it when everybody wins because I'm part of everybody. I like it when everybody wins.
And Riscala, I've talked to Trae. Trae has a great little lounge area in his store, and it would be fun to actually go co-host our radio show down there and have some guests come in and just sit down on the sofa and talk about fishing and rigs, and that would be a real fun morning, Trae, to do if you want to host something like that.
That's a great idea. If you guys want to come down, you're more than welcome anytime.
Hot dog. Well, we're going to take you up on that. We'll talk about the particulars off the air, but that sounds like fun.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to get up extra early that day.
Definitely.
You are down in Fort Lauderdale? Where are you at, Trae?
We're in Pompano Beach.
Okay. And do you have a website as well?
Yep. BigDogTackle.com.
Okay.
Now, what's great about Trae, he always puts the posters up of the upcoming tournament. So I know there's a big saltwater shootout coming up in a couple weeks. So it's nice to see the tournaments are being stacked and, finally going forward. You going to be fishing that one, Trae?
Yeah, definitely. We'll be fishing the saltwater series. That'll be the last one of the Jamie Bunn tournaments. And then there's also tournament up in Jupiter, which just got pushed back another month because of the coronavirus up there. I think the city of Jupiter, they decided to shut down a little bit, so they're pushing their tournament back 1 month.
Is that chasing tails with Summer Warren? Exactly. Another great cause. Another great cause. And then tell us about your tournament. You actually have the first annual tournament coming up in November. Tell us about your tournament.
Oh.
Yeah. We have the Kingfish Battle coming up in November. Hopefully we get a little further advanced on maybe getting this coronavirus under control, and we don't have to worry about so much as the city shutting down the boat ramps. But ours is coming up in November 14th.
Wow.
So
And what made you want to do a tournament, and who's going to be some of the recipients of some of the monies? Is there charities, or what made you say we need a tournament?
Yeah, well, I think being a local tackle shop here in Broward County, and just trying to get our presence out there, and the way we've built our business is bringing the community together. So I think doing a nice tournament. We've done a few tournaments already. This is the first SKA, Southern Kingfish Association, sanctioned tournament. So that also brings a big crowd with that. So doing that, I think just bringing the community together and putting it all together to raise money for a good cause. And I think what we're doing is we're raising money for veterans from the military, and even beneficiaries of the families from fallen soldiers and that kind of beneficiary charity. So that's what we've raised money for all along.
That's again, you just verified something I said earlier about small businesses. One of the things you said is we built our business by bringing the community together. In other words, they become part of your family. This is the advantages of dealing with a small business. So I appreciate you bringing that up. That's again, these are just verifications of what we've been saying. Dealing with a small company, you're dealing as an extended family almost with that small company. The service that you're going to get is going to be far beyond anything that a large company can provide for you, simply because they are a small company and they're flexible. Big companies are not. They're rigid. They have rules. They have to talk to people. I have to talk to so-and-so. I can't get you an answer. You're not going to find that with a small company. You're going to get an answer right away. You'll get action right away. So I'm glad that you mentioned that, Trae. That's an important point. One of the, if you want to call it a selling point, because in a way we are selling. We're selling our small businesses, whatever that might be, to the public. But it is a fact that when you're dealing with small businesses, these are some of the things that occur, and they give back, like you mentioned, that you give back. And veterans are a heartstring of mine, as I am a veteran, and I've watched many of them suffer. At 22 a day go down, take their own lives because they just can't deal with this anymore. It's a sad story. Hopefully they're going to be getting more and more help, but with people like you who reach out and help, in your example, help the fallen, the families of the fallen. Nobody talks about them. It's heartwarming. It's the strings of my heart. I hope other people feel the same way. These are priorities that should be priorities in our lives. Taking care of those who have literally gone down trying to take care of us. If you take care of the little things I've learned in life, then the big things take care of themselves. So as long as we're doing what we're doing and we're giving back, all of these small businesses that we have, whether it's Big Dog Tackle, whether it's Atlas Trax, whether it's my company, Laser Technologies, all of these small businesses give back. And that's where everybody wins. And I'm part of, I like to say it's a kind of a selfish thing. I'm part of everybody. But it really is. It's everybody wins. In so many ways, we all win.
And what's amazing, especially with Trae, is, he's running a store over there. He's out there doing the charity work. And Trae, correct me if I'm wrong, you're a licensed marine insurance agent also, right?
Yeah,
wow.
Definitely.
So we've never even mentioned that, Rascala.
Yeah.
So, boat insurance and, things like that. And actually, Trae called me the other day and said, I have a customer needing a tracker, and he's one of the guys I delivered on Friday. So the small community is word of mouth. And, this gentleman needs insurance. That guy needs tackle. This guy needs tournament entry. So, Trae, thank you.
At one time...
Yeah, we're a big family. That's what we do. We look out for each other, right?
Yeah,
absolutely.
At one time, many years ago, there was a lot of that going on. That has kind of, faded by the wayside, so to speak, over the years. And I'm glad that it is occurring, and hopefully it's coming back, because to me, that's what America was about. We all help each other. We do what we do, and we help each other. And in the process of helping each other, we help ourselves. That, has gone by the wayside. But I see, since I've done this show, we're going into our 4th year now. I've met so many absolutely amazing people that are in the fishing community that do things that and they don't want advertisement. What am I trying to say? They don't want the credit. They just want to know that it's done. And that's the kind of mentality that we're dealing with. People who are willing to sacrifice, but the sacrifice, I don't have to be told, give me all these kudos on the back, and because I did this, and they don't really care about the advertisement part of it. They just want to see that it's done. That's the beauty of this. So this is an honor, really, to be part of this community for me. And I don't say that lightly. The people that I have met have been just outstanding people willing to do what is necessary for a community, for their business, for the customers, who become, again, an extended part of the family. Appreciate you coming on, my friend. What you got planned for the day?
Sure. We're just working over here at the tackle store, organizing, staying on track. We got a lot of stuff going on over here. Also working on the tournament for November. And we also help sponsor other tournaments locally. And I have a 501c3 set up to where we actually raise money and we give back. We actually gave to the Bug Light Shoal project that Bruce Marks down in Miami's been working on. What he does is he likes to help build the
He's
reef.
an amazing guy. Again,
Isn't he?
I had him on last week. I think it was. Carolyn, was it last week we had Bruce on?
Last week for an update. Amazing guy. And Trae, I'm thrilled that you help him too.
Yeah. Everybody wins.
Yeah.
This is the thing. Everybody wins. What Bruce is doing, not only do the humans win, the marine life there wins because they're building an entire reef for these fish. So we win, the fish win, nature wins, everybody wins. I love it.
Well, it's funny. Nature is kind of like, like human life. You can't always take without giving back.
Amen.
Yep.
So
yep. You have to. I think when you go through life, you have to go through life with a giving attitude, without the expectation of receiving. And if you do that, it all just naturally comes to you.
I agree. Well, Trae, a big thank you to you. I know that you've got stuff going on that's kind of out of your way to call in and give us a little bit of your time, but I'm ever so grateful for it every time that you do it. Thank you so very much. I'm going to let Carolyn say goodbye to you. We'll take a quick break, and then we'll come right back. Thanks again, Trae.
Okay, great. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for calling in. Say hi to Nicole, and we'll see you soon.
Will do. You guys have a great day, and I look forward to being on the show. It's whenever we get on here, the time flies.
I know. That's what happens. God bless you. Enjoy your day.
You're listening to the Fishing in Florida show with your host, Scala Stevens. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
There are no perfect answers, but that's okay because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on adoption, visit adoptuskids.org. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Do you need toner for your Epson, Hewlett-Packard, Canon, Brother, Apple, or Sharp printers? Look no further than Laser Technologies. In business for over 20 years, they offer the lowest prices on toner on the web. They can also repair your laser printers and toners fast and easy. Call their expert staff today at 561-792-9600 or email us at service@laser-technologies.com for all your toner needs. All toner is shipped nationwide. Why wait? Get the lowest prices on toner. Call or email us today.
While other stations just talk a good game, we win it.
Hey, sounds like somebody's having a lot of fun.
I grab my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing and blowing on. When the sun shines all day. It just calls me a grouper. So I'm fishing and blowing on. Oh yeah.
Good morning from the Sunshine State. Broadcasting from Palm Beach County, it's the Fishing in Florida Show. Sundays from 8 to 10 a.m. on the WCET FM network. And now, here's your host, Riscala.
All right, we are back. It is the Fishing in Florida Show. Good morning to you. If you're just joining us, we will have archives set up. I have a whole set of archives set up now that I figured out the problem with the software that was giving me such a fit. All the archives are up to date as far as I can tell. And anything that you missed, you can always go back and catch up on. A big thank you to our home network, WCET FM 101.7 out of Columbia. Big thank you to Marina Rock Radio out of Miami. And they are Yacht Rock's sister station. If you have the TuneIn app, by the way, Marina Rock Radio is on the TuneIn app. So that's another way that you can listen to us. If you don't have the TuneIn app, you can download our app. It's absolutely free. No ads. No push notifications, no spyware, none of that stuff. Just a way for you to be able to listen to our network, WCET FM. In the meantime, I have Carolyn Stash. She is with Atlas Trax, and if you want to protect what you love to the max, talk to my friend Carolyn over there at Atlas Trax. Welcome back, Miss Carolyn.
Good morning again to our listeners, Riscala. It's a beautiful day, and I can't wait to hear more of our guests. This is a totally new panel, which is exciting.
Yes. And our next guest, I'm going to say Miss Norwood because I'm not sure how the first name is pronounced, so she can say that for me. But welcome, and a very good morning to you, my dear.
Good morning. It's good to be here.
How do you pronounce your first name?
It's actually pronounced Chaeli.
Hey, I got it right, Carolyn.
You were totally right. Absolutely. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So Chaeli is with KYAH Marina, is that right?
Yes, sir. I am one of the managers at KYAH Marina in Steinhatchee, Florida.
And what does KYAH Marina do?
So we're a full-service marina on Florida's Big Bend. We store boats. We have a full-service bait shop. We kind of have a little bit of all the work. We pretty much are the outlet for everybody to come through and go out fishing in Steinhatchee's grass flats.
And are you servicing, so I'm not familiar with the area, so forgive me if this sounds like a silly question, but this is primarily saltwater or backwaters?
Yes, sir. We're saltwater. We have a river. It's called the Steinhatchee River, and it flows into a bunch of grass seabeds, and we have creeks and things like that. We have a lot of inshore fishing and offshore fishing that go out of here. People mainly target redfish and trout. It's kind of like an old Florida feeling here. We're real small.
Wow. So give me, I'm sorry, I didn't catch it. Give me the city that you're in is what?
It's pronounced Steinhatchee, Florida.
Okay. Give me something that's near.
So we're practically an hour west of Gainesville right now.
Oh, okay. All right.
So the fishing is a little bit different there, Riscala.
Yeah.
They've got a lot of stuff similar to what Wanda does. A lot of the redfish. They've got flats. One of their big businesses, they have a boat rental fleet that folks are going out scalloping right now. So how does that work, Chaeli? Someone comes in, they rent a boat, they get a bucket, and they just head out and start looking for scallops?
Yeah, so it's really awesome. Scalloping is something that people can do of all ages, anywhere from being a 6-year-old kid all the way up to, someone in their 80s. It's really awesome. Folks can come to our marina and they can either choose to go out with a fishing guide, or they can go out, scallop guide, or they can rent a boat from us. We've got over 20 Carolina skiffs that we rent out to folks during this time of the year. We sell snorkel gear here at the marina that they can purchase. When you go out there, you're going to want to, we always tell people, look for boats and pull up at a safe distance and look for some nice seagrass beds, and you're sure to find scallops. You snorkel around, and we call it the never-ending Easter egg hunt.
I like that.
Which is such a wonderful thing. Now, let me tell you what else is so unique about KYAH Marina. They also have quaint little cottages, and I don't know how many, you'll have to share with me, that I've looked on at their website. So you can actually go rent boats for the weekend, stay in these beautiful beach, old Florida cottages. They have little fishing tournaments for the kids. Tell us a little bit about the cottages.
Yeah, so we have, I believe, right now 28 different shacks at our marina. That's what we like to call them, our little fishing shacks. And we rent them out on a nightly basis. They range from sizes from rooms that can hold 2 to 4 all the way up to 19 people. So
Wow.
we have something that can accommodate pretty much whatever type of trip you're looking to do.
Wow.
And you have a swimming pool and everything on site, right?
Yes, we put in a swimming pool a few years back, and it's really awesome. It's covered by a bunch of palm trees. It's a nice place to hang out when you get off the water.
It sounds like a full service, like you, in the old days we had gas stations that were called full service gas stations. You pull in, everything was taken. They check your oil, they check your tire pressure, they put the gas in your car, everything. So this is kind of right along that line. This is a full service place where you can, if it's about fishing, you got full service. If you don't have a place to stay, you got a place to stay. You don't have the bait, you got the bait. You don't have a boat, you got a boat. You want to go scalloping, you got the stuff you need to go scalloping. It's great.
It's absolutely beautiful, and the website for these folks is seahag.com, and you can see so many photos. You can tour all of the cottages right online. And Riscala, of the rental boats, what's so exciting is they're putting our trackers on the rental fleet. What that means is if
cool.
somebody's overdue or they want to check how many hours the boat has run, for safety, now everybody will know if a family member, if they're offshore, are they coming back, how far are they, just totally safety items. But just the fact that anyone can go scalloping, like Chaeli was saying, age 6, as long as you can put your feet on the bottom. And how would one scallop? How often do you move? You take the boat, you kind of put an anchor out, or you're drifting?
Yeah, so the scallops, they can either be concentrated into an area or they can be spread apart. It depends on how plentiful they are. And we usually recommend people pulling up to a spot, dropping out a couple divers or snorkelers, look around and see if you see any. And if they're starting to see a lot, it's probably going to be a good area to where they could collect enough for their limit. But if it's not quite looking like a good area, we recommend them moving. And you don't have to move much. You can just move a few 100 yards and you're right there to a whole new spot that has plenty of scallops to look at. It's a really cool process. It's not something super difficult for people who may not have a lot of experience. It's really cool experience.
So do you see them? They swim with a shell? Are they in the grass? Do you have to dig for them? How do you catch one? You just see the shell and you just grab it?
Yeah, so scallops have a dark side of their shell and they have a white side of their shell. So if their white side is laying visible up, it's usually pretty easy to see. There'll be, a big white dot in the middle of a grass bed. But if their brown side is up, it can be a lot more camouflaged, making it a little bit more difficult. But another cool feature that scallops have is they have about hundreds of blue sparkly eyes that come out of the mouth of their shell. And when the sun is shining really pretty, you can see the reflecting of their blue eyes. And so that can give them away and allow you to see and collect a lot more. They kind of sit right on top of the grass beds.
And what is the season for scallops?
So it's different in different areas depending on what their scallop counts were. But for our area, scallop season was open from June 15th through September 7th.
And then what other kind of fishing do you do? You said you had guides, which is exciting. Do you have guides take other people out for dolphin fishing or mahi or grouper? You do those kind of fishing trips too?
Yeah, so we have an awesome offshore fishery here in Steenhatchee. We don't quite get into mahi. That's more of a down south thing. When our folks get into mahi, it's kind of like a specialty thing. But our biggest thing down here is red snapper and gag grouper. We can get really awesome limits and them here offshore with our captains. We've got 2 offshore that go out of our marina. And it's really cool because our 2 offshore captains we have are actually some of the youngest captains in Steenhatchee. They're both 19-year-olds. They've been fishing their whole life.
Wow.
And they really excel at what they do. They take folks fishing every day during the summer.
That's amazing. We're going to have a 9-year-old here on in a little while. I can see when he grows up, him being like what you just described, at 19 years old, taking people out fishing. He's an amazing young man. Wow. That's, wow. This just not, I don't even know what to say. There's so much you can do. Wouldn't even know where to start. So
right?
it's
Who would expect a full-service, old-school Florida fish camp that you can get everything that you need and have a swimming pool? And correct me if I'm wrong, Chaeli, if someone wants to rent one of your boats, they can actually take them away from the marina overnight, right? If they're renting a little waterfront cottage someplace else?
Yeah, so if they happen to be renting somewhere else, they can, if they rent the boat for multiple days, they can take it with them and just bring it back on the last day.
Riscala, that doesn't exist anymore.
No, I'm telling you, it's just, I'm trying to picture this in my mind. Are you, when you say you're a little ways from Gainesville, you're on the Gulf side, right?
Yes. So we're an hour west of Gainesville on the Gulf side. We're a real small town. Not a lot of people hear about it.
Yeah, because I traveled.
Cedar Key. Yep, absolutely.
I traveled the west coast of Florida for quite some time. I was in the Air Force at the time, stationed in Panama City, Tyndall Air Base, and my parents were in Miami. So one of the ways I would come down would be Highway 98 down the west coast to kind of see everything that was there. And I would run into all these little towns, and I don't remember that one. That's just not one of them I remember. Oh, so that's great. I love little towns because it's kind of like an extended family again, in little towns. Everybody knows everybody. That was one of the things that I enjoyed. I don't know if it's like that now in Panama City, but it was. I'm talking about Panama City, not the beach. That's a completely different thing. But Panama City itself, I couldn't go anywhere without seeing people I knew. It was just one of those things. So I'm sure it's right along the same line of where you're at.
Oh, yeah, for sure. We're definitely a family-run business, and we're a real homey town. You definitely can't go somewhere without running into someone you know.
Yeah. That's one of the things that was nice about that. And a family-owned, locally owned business. Again, I talked about that earlier. That's just one of the. If you're going to invest and if you're going to go rent a boat from somebody, and you have a big name or you have a small family-owned business, you're going to get better service. You're going to get better quality from that small family-owned business, and you know that you're going to be giving back to the community through the service that you have purchased from them, because that's what they do. They give back. I'm always passionate about small family-owned businesses, Chaeli. I'm glad that's what you're involved with there. And I'm very curious. I'm going to go look up this website because I'm very curious to see what it looks like. Carolyn says it's beautiful.
Oh, I can't wait to drive up there, and I want to try and go scalloping. And I'll tell you, just to go to the cottages, when you do a walkthrough on the website, they're beautiful. I mean, and to be able to think about you taking your catch and then probably cooking it, sitting out by the pool.
How
and
neat.
Chaeli, tell me, what is the limit on scallops? How do they know how many scallops to take?
Yeah, so during July, our scallop limit is 2 gallons per person, and 10 is the max you're allowed on the boat. And that's with them in their shell. So the best way to measure it is taking a 5-gallon bucket and filling it up, and that would be your way to check your limit. Make sure you're not over.
Taking a 5-gallon bucket and
and filling it up, filling the scallops in the bucket.
But wouldn't that be? You said the limit is in what? In gallons?
Yes, the limit's in gallons for scallops.
So I don't know how you would do that. That doesn't make sense to me. If you're going to put it in a 5-gallon and you have 2-gallon limit, isn't that 5 gallon? I don't know. I'm still trying to wake up. I can't catch on to that.
Since scallops are pretty small, you can fit a whole lot into a 5-gallon bucket. So if it's 2 gallons, you would assume that 2 gallons would be a little less than halfway of a 5-gallon bucket.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
And if you have 2 people, if you have 5 people on your boat, you can get 10 gallons. So you can just fill up 2 5-gallon buckets, and then you'll know you hit your max.
Now I see, says the blind man. Okay.
What a fun way to fish, right? You're going out on the water. You're with your family. You're close to shore. Yep. Everybody can participate. And then let me ask you a question. When you put them in the bucket, do you have to keep them in water, or how do you keep them out all day and then have them still be fresh when you get back to cook them.
The best way and a secret that a lot of people do is leaving just a tiny little bit of salt water in the bucket with scallops and then topping it off with a ton of ice. That way, when you get back in, all of their little clam mouths pop open, and they're super easy to be able to clean.
Trick of the trade.
Look at that. I would never know that.
So we're up against a break, but before we go, Chaeli, I wanted to ask you, I was curious. I take it this is done in relatively shallow water, waist-high water?
Oh, yeah. About 3 to 4 foot is a good range for scalloping.
Yeah, okay. Wow. All right, and it is at CHAG.com. It's www.chag.com. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Is there a phone number that they can call in on?
Yeah, 352-498-3008 is our Marina number, and that's how we book all our reservations, and we can answer any questions that anyone may have.
Excellent. Well, I'll let Carolyn say goodbye to you when we're going to go to a break. Thank you so much, Chaeli. Greatly appreciate it. It was wonderful meeting you, and wow, my mind is just thinking about where you are. It brings back memories from many years ago of being over on the West Coast. Go ahead, Carolyn.
Haley, thanks for calling in, and say hi to Amanda and Charlie for me.
I will do it. Thank you for having me.
All right, here we go.
You're listening to the Fishing in Florida show with your host, Scala Stevens. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Thinking of moving? Before you do anything else, call Diane Whittick. She provides a concierge service. Things like having your home or condo packed and shipped. Even take care of your home repairs or upgrades. Diane has the expertise to get it done. As a seller, you will have constant contact. She will furnish you with bids on any services that might need completion. Air conditioning, plumbing, handyman, and even cleaning. Living up north and have a home to sell here in South Florida? Just give her the keys, address, and a signature. Your payment will be wired when the property is sold. That's right, Diane does it all. Thinking of buying? Diane has great listening skills. Tell her what you want, give her your budget, and like a genie, she will make your real estate wish come true. There's no regrets when you choose Diane Whittick. To reach Diane, call 561-247-5478. That's 561-247-5478.
Do you need toner for your Epson, Hewlett-Packard, Canon, Brother, Apple, or Sharp printers? Look no further than Laser Technologies. In business for over 20 years, they offer the lowest prices on toner on the web. They can also repair your laser printers and toners fast and easy. Call their expert staff today at 561-792-9600 or email us at service@laser-technologies.com for all your toner needs. All toner is shipped nationwide. Why wait? Get the lowest prices on toner. Call or email us today.
Do you have an unusual pet? Did you know that the Rainforest Clinic in Loxahatchee specializes in exotic pets? They see pets that other vets don't. Parrots and chickens, ducks, geese, turtles, snakes, goats, pigs, lizards, and even monkeys. Are you a beekeeper? Dr. Clubb, the first of her kind in the area? Yes, she takes care of bees as well. Dr. Susan Clubb has decades of experience and known around the world for her reputation as a premier avian vet. Located at 3319 E Road in Loxahatchee, just a short distance north of Okeechobee Road, you will find a modern clinic with in-house labs, which allow you to get your test answers quickly. You can find them online at www.susanclub.com. That's www.susanclubb.com. Or you can reach her at 561-795-4878. It's Dr. Susan Clubb. That's 561-795-4878. The Rainforest Clinic located in Loxahatchee. 561-795-4878.
GTG, BRB, OMW, be there in a few. You may think that these kinds of texts are fine because of their length, and you can easily send them at a stoplight. But no, answering one text can take your attention away from the road for 5 seconds. And traveling at 55 miles an hour, that's enough time to travel the length of a football field. Make good decisions, don't text and drive.
While other stations just talk a good game, we win it.
Hey, sounds like somebody's having a lot of fun.
I grab my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm
Good morning from the Sunshine State. Broadcasting from Palm Beach County, it's the Fishing in Florida Show. Sundays from 8 to 10 a.m. on the WCET FM network. And now, here's your host, Riscala.
All right, we are back. It is Fishing in Florida Show. Good morning to you. If you're just joining us again, we will have archives set up for you. All you have to do is go over to our Facebook page. If you go over to our Facebook page, please give us a like while you're there. It makes us more relevant in the searches. And if you click on Contact Us on our Facebook page, that is another way that you can listen to us. I mentioned the app earlier. We have a free app, free download, no spyware, no ads, no push notifications, just a way for you to be able to listen to us. That's another way you can listen to us. If you have the TuneIn app, you can utilize Marina Rock Radio, which is one of our affiliates that carries our show. Tune in Marina Rock Radio on Sunday mornings from 8 to 10 a.m. on the TuneIn app, and you can find us that way. You can go on the web, www.wcetradio.com. That's another way that you can find us. We try to make it as easy as possible, and we have ever so many people out there that listen, and I am so grateful to all of you who take the time on Sunday mornings. Maybe you're sitting there having coffee or something, and you're listening in, but I am so grateful to all of you who do that, because it makes it worthwhile to know that there are so many of you who appreciate, and I know that you do because you're there every Sunday morning. Welcome back, Miss Carolyn. Miss Carolyn with Atlas Trax. If you want to protect what you love to the max, who are you going to call? Carolyn at Atlas Trax. How are you, my dear? How are we doing over there?
We're doing great, and wasn't that a fun conversation?
Yes. I want to. It makes me want to kind of drive up there. Now you sent me the map, a picture of where they are. I pass that area all the time, but I never saw that. And I still don't know exactly what the name was. But yeah, there's a lot of small cities on the way back down. If you see Highway 98, that's what I used to take out of Panama City, out of Tyndall Air Base, because Highway 98 runs right through Tyndall Air Base. And that's what I would start off on Highway 98, come down pretty far down near Tampa or something, then take one of those across the state to get to the East Coast. Anyway, I got our next guests, and that's going to be Rachel, and it's going to be Margaret. And they are the FishmongerApproved.com. Good morning. How are you doing over there? I think you're on the West Coast, right?
Good morning. Yeah, I'm over in St. Petersburg, Florida. Sitting outside, enjoying a beautiful morning over here.
Yeah, looks
so it's good to be back with you guys.
Well, it's good to have you back.
It's been a little bit of time.
Yeah. Share.
Yeah.
Let's share a little bit with us what you've been up to. What's the latest?
Yeah. So, this past month, and this is Rachel speaking. This past month, I actually had an opportunity to drive around the state of Florida for about 25 days during the craziest pandemic in our lifetimes, of course. And, it gave me an opportunity to visit. What we do, of course, we have our Florida Seafood magazine, Fishmonger Approved, but we live in St. Petersburg, which limits us to the experiences over here. So I thought, it's time for me to get out on the road. Margaret had to stay home because she has another job that she had to stay here and take care of all of our animal babies too. But I hit the road and explored a lot of different places and tried a lot of delicious seafood. And I thought, it might be time for me to get back on here and talk to you guys about, not just about cooking, which is a lot of what we do, but also to kind of report back on some of the delicious seafood I ate in the restaurants I visited.
Great. I'm all ears, my dear.
Well, I started, and just kind of give you an overview with the 25 days I was on the road. I started in, of course, I'm based in St. Pete, so I headed south. I went down to, I stayed in Paso Grill, of course, which is right near me. If anyone's ever heard of Paso Grill, it's kind of, I call it the peninsula on the peninsula on the peninsula. So St. Pete Beach is a peninsula off of Florida.
Yep.
And then Paso Grill is a little peninsula off of St. Pete Beach. So it's kind of a little tucked away corner that not everybody knows about, but it's a beautiful little beach. The locals will probably be pissed off that I'm mentioning it because they like to keep their little, their little
secret
private. But there's a couple of delicious restaurants there. There's a restaurant called Grace. And then there's also a restaurant called The Dewey. Both have delicious seafood. The Dewey specifically has a soft shell crab sandwich that's phenomenal. They soft shell crab is one of those things that you just want to do it perfectly, so it's nice and tender but still crispy, and that's a delicious dish at the Dewey. And then I headed down to Bradenton for a night and stayed at the Spring Hill Suites right in Bradenton downtown. So everyone's familiar more with the beach side, where you have the sandbar off of Anna Marie Island. Sandbar is a great place too to get some seafood. But the downtown area has the Oak and Stone, which is right down there in the center of town. And Oak and Stone has some nice little treats as well. I'm trying to remember what I had there, but it was really tasty. I want to say it was like a poke bowl. I think it was a poke bowl. Do you guys eat poke bowls at all?
No. Do you know what that is, Carolyn?
Yes, absolutely. So a poke bowl is almost like going to a place like a Subway, but it's all with fresh fish. So you get your rice, your tuna, you can put on sesame seeds, beans, ginger, and you kind of create a beautiful sushi.
Holy smokes. Where's this at?
Poke bowls are pretty common. You probably couldn't find them in most places in Florida.
Wow.
If you just, Google poke bowl.
I feel so ignorant.
Yeah, and this in particular was right in, this one was at the Oak and Stone. They have several different dishes there, and it's not traditionally a seafood place, but it was really good. I was very impressed. And what was kind of neat about the Spring Hill Suites Hotel there is it's one of the most beautiful locations to be, because if you go on their rooftop bar, you get a 360 view of everything around you. And so you're sitting up top on the rooftop bar at Oak and Stone, which is right next to the hotel. They kind of share the same rooftop. And it's just nice to be able to eat seafood while you're surrounded by water. So I was there for a night, and then I headed down to Fort Myers. I didn't have a ton of seafood in Fort Myers that I can recall. I traveled for so long that it was hard to keep up at this point. But I did stop in Sarasota, and Sarasota, I had a delicious meal at Crab and Fin. Have you guys ever been down to Sarasota?
It's been years for me. When's the last time you were in Sarasota, Carolyn?
Oh, probably a couple years, but I'm due for a trip to get over there. That's where Carol Strickland is usually.
Oh, yeah, that's right. She's on that West Coast. That's
well,
right.
if you get back to Sarasota, I recommend going on a kayak ride down there. I went kayaking in the mangroves, and it's just such a beautiful, Sarasota kind of sits in the background. So while you're in this little environmental, majestic, beautiful landscape, then you see kind of the city a little bit right behind you, but it's not a huge city. But stop at the Crab and Fin. I had probably some of my favorite fish tacos at the Crab and Fin. While I was there, we do have that posted on some of these places are posted on Fishmonger approved, so you can definitely see a lot of the different places that were visited. And then after Sarasota, so like I said, I was in Fort Myers, and then I headed to Naples, and I stayed at this was a really beautiful spot I got to stay at. The La Playa Resort invited me in to stay there for a night. So they have a travel magazine too. But I ate at a restaurant called Baleen. If you have an opportunity to eat at this restaurant, and you don't have to stay at the hotel to eat there, but if you have an opportunity to eat here, they have some of the most delicious seafood I have ever tasted in my life. It's definitely one of those places you got to save up a few pennies to enjoy. But they had this black grouper with neonato relish over a king crab and corn risotto cake. And you can see the picture if you get a chance to go to our Fishmonger approved Facebook page. You can see the picture there, and it's one of the most beautiful recipes and dishes I've ever had the pleasure of tasting. So check that out. It'll make your mouth water. The picture's so pretty. And then they had an octopus. Do you guys do octopus?
I haven't had octopus in years. The last time I had it, maybe it wasn't cooked right. I didn't like it at all.
No, normally I do it a little bit grilled, but I know a lot of folks are doing it with marinade.
Yeah, octopus is one of those things. So I love octopus. Margaret is not the biggest fan. I think it's just a texture thing. Octopus has to be done right. If you don't marinate octopus and cook it slowly and make it nice and tender, it's going to be way too tough.
Yeah, that's what this was chewy.
It's like a really tough, right. It gets chewy.
Yeah.
So if you have it done the right way, you're in for a special treat. But Baleen had this octopus dish. It had black garlic custard. This is a fancy seafood. So if you're looking for fancy and a kind of a super amazing experience, it was a black garlic custard, white beans, saffron. I mean, these are the the top quality ingredients, but it's definitely worth saving up and enjoying it even if just for a night. And then I headed to Miami, and this was kind of a fun treat. I went to this. I do, as we've talked about before, I do some work also in my LGBT community, and I decided, let's have some fun in South Beach, Miami. Although you can't have too much fun in South Beach with a mask on and during COVID, but I tried. But I went to this place called Palace Bar. They're known for some of their LGBT entertainment and fun times. But it was this complete surprise that their seafood was amazing. I wasn't expecting that. When you walk into a bar and you think kind of a hole-in-the-wall bar club type of atmosphere, you don't expect good seafood. I mean, you expect, beer food, bar food. But this place had a branzino that was the sauces, the stew that they put underneath the branzino. Again, there's a picture of it on our Facebook, our Fishmonger approved Facebook page. That's another one that was just such a pleasant surprise and treat.
Wow.
I headed then down to Key Largo. I went to the Key Largo Conch House. Seafood was good. It wasn't, out of all the places I went, it wasn't my favorite, but they did have a really delicious ceviche and a coconut crusted shrimp that I liked. I'd say skip the crab cake. That wasn't my favorite. And conch is it reminds me a little of octopus, where if it's not done right. Do you guys eat conch at all?
Carolyn?
Oh, I love it. I love it. Pounded and grilled with a light blackening. One of my favorite things is conch burgers out in Harbor Island, and that's lightly breaded like a hamburger, but it's got to be done right.
It was
does. If it's not, it's a tough, chewy thing if it's not done right. But so that one I would skip there. I think I've had it better before in other places, but their coconut shrimp was delicious, so I enjoyed that. And then I went down to Robbie's Marina and Tarpon Feeding. Have you guys been there?
I've heard
amazing.
of it. Yeah.
A lot of fun. A great breakfast and feeding the tarpons right off the dock. Big 6-footers.
Yeah.
It's in Marathon, right off the Keys, and it was super hot that day. But I got a nice quiet spot right near the water, and enjoyed some of their shrimp tacos, which were delicious. And then I did get to take some amazing pictures of, I didn't feed the tarpons, so I brought my camera with me. So I wanted another guy to feed them so I could grab a picture. But I got this really cool shot of a tarpon jumping out of the water, and the bait fish tail is sticking right out of his mouth. So that was a cool experience. I really enjoyed that a lot. Also visited the Turtle Hospital around there in Marathon, which is kind of neat to see. Even though we focus on eating seafood, we also focus on sustainability and protecting our wildlife. So the Turtle Hospital, they do great work there for rehab and everything. So if you go down there, visit Robbie's, but then stop over at the Turtle Hospital for a little. And then I headed to Key West. And I headed to Key West right before they made it a mandate that everybody had to wear masks anywhere you were. So I'm not sure right now is the best time to visit unless you're okay wearing masks. It's just so hot and humid out that it's a little stifling to do that. But I went over to the Conch Republic Seafood Company, which is a very popular spot in Key West if you've been down there. But their food does them justice. Their food was absolutely delicious. I had a great conch, I think it was actually a conch tomato-based soup, chowder. That was delicious. And then I had some oysters and lots of really great food there. Key West is just such a fun place to be, and lots of great food in that area. And then I went up to, so if you're not exhausted yet, I went up to Fort Lauderdale.
Wow.
Spent a couple of nights there. I definitely recommend Steak 954. That's, again, a little bit more upscale, but their seafood was beautiful, and the plating was beautiful, and you can see some of the pictures on our Fishmonger approved site. And then headed over to the in Melbourne, Florida. Have you guys been to Melbourne?
Oh, yeah. Been a while, but yes,
Not in
many
a while,
times.
But you went right by me. Next time you were over here in that Fort Lauderdale area, make sure you look me up. I'm in Deerfield. I would have gone out and eaten a little bit with you. But yeah, absolutely. But
I was in Delray.
Right around the corner.
Yeah. Yeah, so I did go to Delray, and I'm blanking on the name of the place I ate. It was a popular seafood shack type of place on the water. It's right on that little river there. I cannot remember the name of it. The dish I had, I wasn't super impressed with, so I didn't want to bring up the name. Because I don't like, I never like doing any bad marketing. I think sometimes there's just a dish that doesn't meet standards, and I like to try a place a couple times before I make a general assumption about them.
Yep.
Yeah, but I was in Melbourne. I went to this place called Matt's Cowgirl Grill. So do you ever get up to Melbourne?
I haven't been here in a while.
I don't, unfortunately, but if it's worth the drive for food, I will.
Yeah, so
Carolyn, I love it.
Fun. I like plenty of outdoor seating. So for those who want to eat outside right now, lots of outdoor seating. But they had this yellowtail collar. It was like a fried yellowtail collar. And I'm adventurous, so I'll try anything once. But the collar tends to be part of the fish that we toss. And this was just a beautiful presentation. It looked almost like a giant wishbone the way they presented it.
Wow.
But the meat was just delicious. And they served it with, it kind of had an Asian spin where they served it with some sticky rice and some seaweed salad and lettuce and a little kind of a Swedish dipping sauce. But that was a really tasty dish and surprising. I think my favorite meal was at the Harry's Seafood Bar, which was in St. Augustine.
So you made the rounds. My goodness.
I did. I went up to St. Augustine. I went over to the Panhandle, but
holy smokes!
They had a red. I know. Now I have to full disclosure. Harry's Seafood and Bar was delicious, and I don't ever promote things usually that are outside of Florida. But this was a redfish dish, and we know redfish right now. You can't catch it in Florida. You're lucky if you get it in Louisiana. So we won't talk about where the fish came from, but I will say that wherever they got it from, it was a very high quality fish, and it tasted delicious.
Wow.
It's one of the fishes that we don't always promote because, of course, it sometimes tends to come from outside of our country.
Yeah.
But the flavor combo they used, you could have done that with any fish. And it was just the combo. And there's a picture of it too. And then in St. Augustine also, there's a place, if you go up there, everyone goes to the tourist trap places, which is fine. But there's a place that's kind of around the corner that the locals know more of, called Culinary Outfitters. And they had a fish spread that would blow your mind. It was one of the best fish spreads I've had, along with a chowder that was delicious. I think it was a crab-based chowder. It's been a little while since I was over there, but they had some delicious food on their menu, and also did octopus really, really well. It was nice and tender.
Oh my goodness.
So, and then, and I did get out to, on the way over to the Panhandle, I did go over to the Apalachicola area.
Now that place I'm familiar with, because I spent a lot of time over there.
Yep.
Wow.
And Oyster Boss, we do some work with Oyster Boss. They do some of the Alligator Harbor oysters. If you haven't had Alligator Harbor oysters, everybody up in that area.
Yeah. Wow. What? Rachel, it brings back memories. I got to cut it short because we're running out of time.
Yeah.
But Apalachicola.
Lots of ideas on where to visit, but there's lots of amazing seafood all around Florida.
Apalachicola brings back fond memories because I spent a lot of time in that area. You can get more information about what Rachel does. It's called fishmongerproof.com. And great site to go visit. They have, oh my gosh, it's like the last guest that we had on. They had a full service place. Well, these people have a full service place when it comes to how to cook fish, all kinds of, I don't have enough time to tell you. It's just all kinds of stuff. Fishmongerapproved.com. You will find Rachel and Margaret Covello there, and some very nice, very educated, and very sweet people. Thank you so much, Rachel. Greatly appreciate it. I wish you an awesome day, my friend.
Thank you, guys. Thanks so much for having me. I appreciate it. I'm hungry now, so I got to go eat something.
Go ahead, Carolyn.
Thanks for the tour. I was going to say thanks for the wonderful tour. I'm hungry, too, so got to go.
You're welcome. Enjoy. And keep us posted, too, and anywhere to go visit and taste. We'd love to highlight people on our website.
Well, thank you. Appreciate it. All right, we're going to be right back. It's going to be a quick break, and we won't be gone long.
You're listening to the Fishing in Florida show with your host, Scala Stevens. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Do you need toner for your Epson, Hewlett-Packard, Canon, Brother, Apple, or Sharp printers? Look no further than Laser Technologies. In business for over 20 years, they offer the lowest prices on toner on the web. They can also repair your laser printers and toners fast and easy. Call their expert staff today at 561-792-9600 or email us at service@laser-technologies.com for all your toner needs. All toner is shipped nationwide. Why wait? Get the lowest prices on toner. Call or email us today.
While other stations just talk a good game, we win it.
Hey, sounds like somebody's having a lot of fun.
I grab my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing and blowing on. When the sun shines all day.
Good morning from the Sunshine State. Broadcasting from Palm Beach County, it's the Fishing in Florida show. Sundays from 8 to 10 a.m. on the WCET FM network. And now, here's your host, Riscala.
All right, we are back. It is Fishing in Florida, and my goodness, it is going to be a day to go fishing today. A beautiful day out there. Let me welcome back my co-host, who is Carolyn with Atlas Trax. Welcome back, Miss Carolyn.
Oh, thanks for having me, Riscala.
Running a little bit behind with Rachel. I didn't want to stop her because she was mentioning so many different places, and some of it brought back some memories, especially when we were talking about Apalachicola. All right, here is the young man that I had told you about earlier today. He's 9 years old. He went fishing with his dad, and I think it was up in New Jersey. They'll correct me here in a minute. And they caught a tuna fish. Are you there, Mr. Tony?
Yep, and thanks for having me.
Oh, it's an honor and a privilege to have you on, my friend. Tell us a little bit about your fishing trip that you took with Dad.
Well, it was long. It was like 80 miles, so it was far. But we caught the tuna. We only caught one tuna. That stinks. But the tuna was big. It was 80 pounds. It was a nice tuna.
And you were part of reeling it in, right? You helped bring it in?
Yeah, only for one turn. It took 4 men.
Oh,
to
yeah.
get in.
Yeah. It took 4 guys to...
Where were you, Tony, where were you fishing? What state were you fishing in?
In New Jersey.
Do you live up there, or were you visiting?
Oh, we were just visiting.
And how long were you out, Tony? How long were you out on the water?
At least for like 12 hours.
You hear that, Carolyn? He's 9 years old, and he's out for like 12 hours on the water. Not only that, but from what his dad tells me, the seas that day were like 3 to 5 feet. Am I right? Was it like 3 to 5 feet?
Yeah, it was shaky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is committed.
How big was the boat that you were on? How big was the boat?
At least like it's 35 feet, I think, maybe more.
Wow.
Something. Yeah. It was a big boat.
And they were
here's
out.
the big question: Did they bring lunch?
So did you get to have lunch?
Did you have snacks?
It's really my dad's friend, so he like bought lunch, and then we like came. So yeah.
Because 12 hours, that's almost enough for 2 meals, for lunch and dinner.
That's a long time. That's a long time for a 9-year-old to be out on the water. That's amazing. Did you catch any other fish other than the tuna? The tuna. The tuna.
No, because we were really far. We were, like I said, we were 80 miles out, so we were like only fishing for tuna.
Mm-hmm.
And we only got one tuna, but we did see a lot of whales. We found a lot of whales, and we found dolphin, and there was like tuna hanging around them, but they didn't bite. We only got one.
The dolphin that
Let me ask you, what time did you catch, or what time did you hook up to the tuna? Like, what time did you go out in the morning, and what time did you catch that fish?
We actually went around. We woke up in the morning around. We woke up at least at like 12 a.m. and then
Wow.
we went out like about like 1 or 2 a.m.
Holy smokes. I'm telling you, this kid is committed, Carolyn. Listen to this. You know that who was it that was telling us? Chaeli was telling us there's 19-year-olds were guides taking these people out. This is going to be one of them. I'm telling you.
If I see a future captain right here.
Yeah.
So did you have a beanbag chair to sleep on when you were going 80 miles offshore? What did you do in the nighttime? Just lay down and get some rest?
Well, pretty much, yeah. I actually fell asleep for the 80 miles out.
Can't blame
Wow. Right.
What'd
you sleep on? Did you sleep on a beanbag chair or just on a cushion?
Yeah, you have to bring a beanbag chair. It's not fun if you don't.
Right.
I love it.
So you wake up and now you're in the middle of the ocean, right?
Pretty much, yeah. And my feet
Wow.
since the boat was bouncing, my feet went up in the air a little and got wet a little.
That's funny.
That's
so
too
what
much.
time? What were you using for bait, and what time did you guys catch that tuna?
Actually, we were using like squid. We were using not real squid, fake squid on
A lure.
Yeah, on the lure, and it had like it's like an umbrella rig, but at the end there's only one that has a hook. So.
Wow.
And we got it on a purple.
On a purple one.
Yeah, I was surprised. We were gonna bring in the purple, but an hour later, we caught a tuna on it. So.
Wow. So how long did you fight the tuna? How many minutes did you fight the tuna?
At least like 1 second.
Oh, it seems like 1 second. I'm sure it was longer than that.
You could have pulled him in. 80-pound
that
tuna?
seems too heavy. If I would have had it for a few more seconds, I would have been gone.
Wow.
How long did the rest of the guys fight the fish? How many minutes did it take to get the fish to the boat?
Around like 30 or 40 minutes.
Wow.
So.
And then what did you do?
After that, we tried to troll for more tuna, but we didn't catch any. That was the only tuna of the day. But it was good tuna.
Yeah, I bet. I bet. Oh, my goodness. So there's other times that you go fishing with Dad. What other fish have you caught?
Well, in my life, really, I caught like almost all the fish. But I caught like barracuda, kingfish, blackfin tuna, like the footballs, and other mahi, and there's other like snapper and all types.
He's well-rounded, Carolyn. I'm telling you.
But I just can't remember because there's so much.
Oh my goodness!
I want to see if I can hire you to come run my boat and take me to catch fish.
That would be. He's in the local area, Carolyn. He's here in South Florida.
So where do you fish? Like when you go on your boat, you go out of where? Do you go out of Fort Lauderdale? Do you go out of Palm Beach?
We usually go my dad's buddy's boat. So it's at Lighthouse Point, like the Marina and Lighthouse Point, like in that area.
Do you know I had breakfast at the Naughty Dog Marina right there yesterday?
Oh wow!
Oh, you know what? That's funny. I went to camp there.
Yeah, so we're neighbors. I'm right near you.
He had a camp. I'm glad you brought that up, Tony. Tell us a little bit about the camp. This is very interesting.
So the camp for KYAH, I learned a lot of stuff. Learned how to do a knot. We caught 2 days. There was like so much sarcasm everywhere that we're just trolling it down the humongous line, and then we just caught like at least like for that day maybe 50 mahis, but like 20 keepers and one bull, like one dolphin.
Wow. So this was a camp, like a kid's fishing camp?
Yeah.
Yeah, the camp.
Put on by
Wow, and where did you did it with Lighthouse Point Marina?
No, we actually went like outdoor. We were like around like 100 feet of water. We were just trolling on top.
Wow.
And we're also using live bait to like pick them up.
How many kids were in the camp?
Around 4 or 5.
That sounds like a fun day.
And I think it was KYAH Rods that did it, if I'm not mistaken. It was the sponsor for this thing.
Oh, they're right up the street too. KYAH Rods. I've got a lot of KYAH fishing rods.
Yep. Is that who did it, Tony? Was KYAH? Did I lose him? Tony, you still there? I can't hear you.
Yeah, I'm still there.
Okay. Was it KYAH Rods that did the camp for you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like it's pretty much KYAH. It's like the KYAH Rods and KYAH, they're both the same thing. They're like the same people that do it. So it was pretty much KYAH Rods doing it, but it was like the mates.
Mm-hmm. Can you?
They're like those like mates and captains.
Can you remember the first time you went fishing? How old were you the first time you went fishing?
Around like 4.
This is Tony. You're awesome.
I'll tell you. Oh my goodness! Wow. Well,
So-
Carolyn, you got something you want to ask him before we go?
Yeah, I want to ask. Is Tony going fishing today? Because I need someone to go fishing with. Are you going to go out fishing today, or are you just going to chill out at home?
We're actually gonna chill at home.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I would love to meet you at some point. I'll have to get your information because I'm a neighbor right up the road. I'd love to meet you and get some tips from you, Tony.
All right.
Well, thank you, Tony, and tell Dad thank you. I appreciate Dad, being there and letting you call in and sharing with us. I think it's awesome. I think you're an awesome young man, and I really can see sometime in the future where it very be possible for you to be a professional captain. Starting off so young, you'll have all the experience that one would need and all the credibility necessary. Before you came on, we had someone who was telling us they had 19-year-olds, just 10 years older than you. I know that seems like a long time for you, but it's a blink of an eye in the overall scheme of things. Just 10 years older than you, and they're taking people out fishing. I could see someone like you being that. So I think you're an awesome young man. I wish you an awesome day. Let me let Carolyn say goodbye to you. And once again, thank you.
1 second before I leave, I want to get a shout out to True Grit, with Captain Rye, and the carnivore with and my Uncle Jay.
God bless him. All right, go ahead, Carolyn.
I was going to say, Tony, have a great day. It was such a pleasure to talk to you.
All right. You too.
Thank you, Tony.
You're listening to the Fishing in Florida show with your host, Scala Stevens. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
When it comes to parenting, there are no perfect answers. But that's okay, because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on adoption, visit adoptuskids.org. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Thinking of moving? Before you do anything else, call Diane Whittick. She provides a concierge service. Things like having your home or condo packed and shipped. Even take care of your home repairs or upgrades. Diane has the expertise to get it done. As a seller, you will have constant contact. She will furnish you with bids on any services that might need completion. Air conditioning, plumbing, handyman, and even cleaning. Living up north and have a home to sell here in South Florida? Just give her the keys, address, and a signature. Your payment will be wired when the property is sold. That's right, Diane does it all. Thinking of buying? Diane has great listening skills. Tell her what you want, give her your budget, and like a genie, she will make your real estate wish come true. There's no regrets when you choose Diane Whittick. To reach Diane, call 561-247-5478. That's 561-247-5478.
Do you need toner for your Epson, Hewlett-Packard, Canon, Brother, Apple, or Sharp printers? Look no further than Laser Technologies. In business for over 20 years, they offer the lowest prices on toner on the web. They can also repair your laser printers and toners fast and easy. Call their expert staff today at 561-792-9600 or email us at service@laser-technologies.com for all your toner needs. All toner is shipped nationwide. Why wait? Get the lowest prices on toner. Call or email us today.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
We have ignition. Strap in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I grab my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing and blowing on. When the sun shines all day. It just calls me a grouper. So I'm fishing and blowing on. Oh yeah. Fishing and blowing on.
Good morning from the Sunshine State. Broadcasting from Palm Beach County, it's the Fishing in Florida Show. Sundays from 8 to 10 a.m. on the WCET FM network. And now, here's your host, Riscala.
All right, we are back. It is the Fishing in Florida Show. Truly an honor and a privilege to be with you. Thank you for taking time to tune in and letting us share with you some of the wonderful things that we run across in the fishing community here in South Florida. Bunch of wonderful people. The last one, I'm still reeling from the last one. 9 years old. He's out there for 13 hours on, oh my gosh, 80-pound tuna. Oh, goodness gracious. Welcome back, Miss Carolyn. Carolyn with Atlas Trax. Welcome back, my dear.
Absolutely. And when he was telling us his story about starting at 4 years old, all I can think about is Mark Ruhr, who is one of the guys that caught the 60-pound kingfish, whose dad made lures. And he started, remember, he caught his first sailfish at age 4.
Wow. My goodness. Some of them start out early. My next regular, who I love dearly, I think she started out real early too. Angelia, she is also known as the Florida Salty Cowgirl. What was your youngest when you started out, my dear?
You know, I was very, very young, and I don't really remember. And I'm going to have to thank my dad in retrospect for it, because I used to go out with my father and my uncle in a 14-foot John boat into Tampa Bay. And they did not know what they were doing, and it was just fun fishing. You know, we caught a lot of sail cats and silly fish and, you know, nothing epic. But what my dad, I never understood, because I had a brother that was a couple years older than me, and my dad taught me how to clean the fish. And while the guys were cleaning the boat and loading the boat, I would clean the fish. And back then, I kind of looked at it like a chore, like, you know, something I didn't want to do, but I was getting used to do as a child, you know. But it's really strange, because I thank my dad more than ever these days, because I totally enjoy cleaning fish and I'm good at it. And I swear I could catch nothing but sail cats back then, but it definitely got me hooked on the water and fishing. And I don't even remember how old I was. I think I was down here snorkeling for lobster, and up on the Gulf Coast snorkeling for scallops even before I was fishing. So always had us in the water. Our vacations were always based around water. Typical Florida family, I guess.
Wow. Wow.
But yeah, we were kind of good old family, you know, kind of a farming ranch family. And so all the activities and all the vacations that we had were very much based around the outdoors and camping and fishing. Yeah. So I didn't know. We didn't go to resorts. We didn't go on cruises. We were very, very outdoors kind of people. And it just really stuck with me. I was always the tomboy that was the first one to try something, you know.
We had a young lady on just before you came on, and she was telling us about the scalloping and how they do scalloping where they're at, Sea Marina up on in the West Coast, up there around the corner, if you will, the corner area of the state. Yep.
You know, scalloping is one of my favorite things. I haven't been able to do it in the last several years just because of work and things going on in the Keys. But anybody who's never done it, it's really an educational experience. Definitely wear gloves. Those shells are so sharp. They will lacerate your hands like scalpels. They're really sharp. And, of course, cleaning them is kind of a pain. And our scallops are very small. Our bay scallops are nothing like sea scallops. but they are an absolute delicacy. And the neatest thing, Riscal, is they sit down in the seagrass in very shallow water, and they'll be everywhere. You can just see tons of them usually, especially at the beginning of the season. But you can see all these really little neat glow-in-the-dark little eyes all around their
That's what
shell
she
that
was
they-
saying.
Yeah, they're open about a quarter inch. You can see all the little eyes. And when you reach down to grab them, you would think they would be extremely stagnant and they'd be really easy to just reach down and pick up. But when you reach down to grab them, they squirt
Take
water
off.
out and they
Yeah.
snap and go backwards.
Yeah, they take off.
And anybody who dives or snorkels, you know that sound travels 7 times faster under the water than it does above the water. So you can hear the little shell clanking, and it's really quite comical and quite educating. You have no idea how these things behave until you go to try to catch them.
I don't think I've ever done it. I've kind of spoiled, but I don't think I've ever. I'm thinking back. If it was so. I was such a young kid. I may have stumbled across one, on the beach or something. But I don't recall that. I remember playing with a lot of horseshoe crabs. I think that's what we called them, off of Matheson Hammock here in southern Florida. That's a beach that's down near Miami. It had, oh my gosh, just hundreds and hundreds of yards long sandbars. When the tide would come down, you could literally walk these sandbars, oh my gosh, for a half hour in one direction, easy. And there was a wide variety, just feet away from you, like 10 feet to the left or 10 feet to the right. It's deep water. Well, deep, it's 4 or 5 feet deep. But you're literally up on the sandbar, and you can see all kinds of things. Horseshoe crabs was one of the most common things I saw out there. Blue crabs, mullet.
Yeah, horseshoe crabs are amazing. You know that they're virtually unchanged for thousands of
Yeah,
years.
I've heard that. Yeah, that is a trick.
I can give you a very strange horseshoe crab tidbit, and I don't know what got me on this not too long ago, but they actually harvest horseshoe crabs, take their blood out, a little transfusion, return them back to the wild, and they're actually using some parts of their blood to work on a COVID-19 virus. I don't know what made me look that up, but their blood, if you look up, it's blue. So when they remove some of the blood, which doesn't hurt the horseshoe crab, it comes out of the horseshoe crab blue.
Wow.
That is awesome.
That is your useless tidbit.
One of the things I like about doing this show, always learning. I just learned.
That is awesome, Carolyn. Thank you.
Wow.
Yes, they use it for biomedical research, but they do not get harmed.
That is awesome. Thank you,
really
horseshoe
neat.
crabs.
Yeah, they're kind of a unique look. When people hear crab, the word crab, I think a lot of people, the first thing they think in their mind is like a blue crab or something along that, a stone crab, something along that line. It's got pinchers coming out on both the right and left. They're not like that. They're like a tank almost in a way. They're completely covered. Their pinchers underneath and their pinchers aren't really like crab pinchers either. They're, I don't know, they're hard to describe, but they're not like, when we say horseshoe crab, you go look up a picture. It's a very unusual looking marine creature. It really is.
And you can obviously see from their design why they've been around for thousands and thousands of years. They are very, very hardy. On another little weird horseshoe crab note, they are so incredibly hardy. I was shocked a few years back when I went down to, went up to Anna Maria Island, where my family has some little beach house there. And the red tide was really, really bad at that point. I was kind of doing a little personal research and assessing the fish killed up there. And I was really just amazed at how many different species were killed and the amount of horseshoe crabs that were killed. I thought they were just almost indestructible, but man, that red tide just seems like it would take out everything. And the amount of horseshoe crabs was devastating that I saw dead on the beach. It was just really sad. So they look pretty darn indestructible, but man, that red tide seems to take out everything it wants to. So
it seems like we're doing better with that now, that they're a little more responsible with the way they're draining the lake and holding on to the water and all of that, because that played a big part of that last year, right? Time is such a blur for me.
Yeah, it's been pretty bad the last few years.
Yeah.
So let's keep our fingers crossed this year.
Yeah, they've been a little... Go ahead, Carolyn.
So I was going to say, so Angelia, what's going on down at the Keys? I mean, a few things have changed over the last week. Are you still getting out every day and fishing and swimming and taking folks out, or is that what are they catching down there? Dolphin like we hear up here?
I was going to say the dolphin, from what I can see and from what I hear, the dolphin are coming in like crazy. I have been not fishing, which is kind of killing me right now, but I'm doing eco-tours, and that's really fulfilling to me on a different level, teaching people about our ecosystem and our beautiful, beautiful area down here, because we have so much, my goodness, I'm at a loss for words this morning. We have such a diverse ecosystem down here. It's really fun to teach people about it. But from what I can see and from what I can hear, Carolyn, the mahi are still coming in really, really nice and really thick. A lot of schoolies, a lot of big ones I'm seeing. So, yeah, I'm twitching and dinging about not being out there mahi fishing right now. But the cool thing is this weekend is our first weekend of mini season for lobster down here.
Oh.
And where I work, it's really kind of cool because there's like a complete coral rock jetty along the whole entire seawall, and I'm bayside, which is really a different thing for me too. I'm an oceanside girl, but it's been very educational. But we have these giant lobsters right up underneath the rocks all along the shoreline where I work, and it's just really fun to come in the morning, and they're just all sitting out there. You can reach down and touch them. They don't even care. I mean, they're cool. They're so used to the people, they don't give a darn. And there are different laws about harvesting them along the shoreline. I'm not exactly sure what they are because I've never harvested them along the shoreline, but I think the laws are much more regulated along the shoreline. So these guys think they're safe. But usually in past years, this place gets overrun by literally millions of people. They actually separated this mini season years ago because the opening weekend of lobster season was just too much for the Keys to handle as far as tourist-wise. So they did these 2 weekends. This weekend and next weekend are considered our mini season, like a little opener. And typically we would call it the Great Migration. You can sit outside by the US 1 and just watch nothing but stopped trucks, trailers, and boats for the whole day long. It's just ridiculous. This year, what they did is they closed all the public boat ramps and they closed all of our public beaches to try to deter that from happening so bad. Our tourist industry right now, Carolyn, is going on really well. We still have some restaurants and bars closed, but our boats are making it out. And not only that, I would say that we are 3 times busier than we were before the coronavirus.
Wow.
But not in a way that seems dangerous. We still have to wear masks inside buildings and what have you, and people are being careful. But on the boats and open air, it just seems a little more free, and people don't seem to be as concerned about it in the open air with the wind blowing, and the wind has been blowing this week.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
But our trips are only making it out every day, Carolyn, but we're booked. I mean, we're booked. It's been
That's great
really
news.
Yeah.
So
I'm glad to hear
be
that.
honest, I haven't turned the news on in about a week because I find it very disturbing most days. Not a great way to start your day these days. But I haven't turned the news on in a week or two, and I forget about it. I honestly, besides having to wear a mask in the grocery store or inside of any type of closed building, I forget that there's even a pandemic going on. And I'm sorry that, anybody who doesn't agree with my point of view here, but man, is that refreshing. I was just getting so tired of it. So I'm holding my breath and crossing my fingers and saying lots of prayers that it doesn't change. We've got through about October until we get dead anyway.
Yeah.
So if we could hold out this tourism the way it sits for a couple more months, that would be just phenomenal.
So are you available as a guide? Are you still doing that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely. I schedule that on the days that I get off from work, and yes, things have been just a little bit crazy, but I'll take it.
Wow.
Summertime, I'm used to working until you can't see straight, and I actually have today off, and I've been out in the weather this week. The weather's been really rough this week, and we've been making trips anyway, and a lot of work in the rain, a lot of work in the wind. I tried to take a group oceanside yesterday to go snorkeling, and it was just 3-foot seas, and I didn't feel safe putting snorkelers in the water.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
I've been kind of staying bayside, but yeah, the weather's been kind of crazy. We had that little tropical depression that was over Cuba. I guess it's moving up through the Gulf and going to hit Corpus Christi, Texas or something. It's a hurricane from what I hear.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm kind of detached from the world news at the moment, but
Don't blame you.
that brought a lot of rain to us. We were on that northeast side, which gets all the rain, and we got a lot of rain and a lot of wind, and it makes for a long week working outside. But you know what? What doesn't kill you makes you stronger, right?
Amen. All right. Well,
I I absolutely love looking at your tracks during the day when you're out fishing, and knowing that I could find you if I need to if you don't call in on a Sunday. So that's really fun for me. I hope you're enjoying it too.
It's funny, Carolyn, is I've been giggling to myself. You're the only person in the world that knows exactly where I'm at all times.
Well, we are completely out of time. I want to thank you, Angelia. I want to thank you, Miss Carolyn. I wish both of you an awesome day. We'll be back in a week. Listeners, thank you for listening in. You've been awesome. See you in a week.